Good afternoon. Hi, this is just Heather slash Hetty, pretty much known as Alive and Me from Twitter land and also Facebook land, and many other just little other lands. Um, just have to give a couple updates. It's just been kind of a roller coaster. I am at almost my year anniversary for when I had my brain ripped open for the third time. And it was probably one of the most amazing brain surgeries this time, being that it's the third that I've gone through. But this one was done actually awake, and so I was able to talk them through so much of it. And with this one, almost right away, I felt just fantastic when it came to, I didn't have the pain from the actual surgery in my head or, the surgical part. It dissipated pretty quick. And not long after, as pretty much all of you might remember, I was out there working out, having fun, but then it crashed. And a couple months after my getting up and about, my body quickly just began to all just get horrifying pain, starting with my left foot and just moving quickly to my right, to my left, to my knees, to my hips, and it just flushed through all the way up to my neck. Only thing that didn't pound was my head, and that was just like so ironic because I used to always have migraines. But just the interesting part was it was just, I can't call it interesting, it was so severe, I mean, and it was getting quicker and it was getting worse, that it just got to a point that, well, number one, they put me into the hospital to see what the heck was going on, and number two, they ran every test pretty much in the world. The first time I was in the hospital back in the July last year following the brain surgery, and just nothing was found. Running everything, little bits of like, you need a little more of this iron or something, but just nothing really to pinpoint anything, such as, MS or rheumatoid arthritis, nothing. And so, of course, they're trying to throw fibro. But that's just the whole problem is that when it comes down to neurosurgery doctors, they're not wanting to sit down and talk about what part of the brain was taken out. So when it finally got down to that point, it was in an area where it actually did control pain and reaction to. And so basically a little portion, because there's all different parts all over the brain that control pain and how we react and just all different sorts. I can't, so in depth, I can't even explain in depth, but there was this little portion that was taken out that had that control, basically in my left temporal lobe, of pain reaction. And because it was a little snip of that, my whole body just flipped out. And so, we tried every single medication pretty much under the blue moon, and nothing was working, right down to the fact that we were trying things that were actually hurting me more or having adverse effects. And like there was a antidepressant that was supposed to help, and instead of being an antidepressant, I guess because I'm not a depressed person, it has that opposite effect, and I'm sitting here absolutely depressed. So I was semi-suicidal. So I mean, I went through just these horrifying aspects following, and some with the move, being very stressful. Stress on top of pain will just intensify the pain on top of it. You have nowhere else basically to put the stress but throw it into your pain bag. And so that was another problem, so with the move and all the stress that comes with move that you may not want to think that's stress. I don't ever think that there's stress out there, but there is. And things got wacky. But finally, things were just calming down. And that's only because we just got, we were just at our wit's end. We had gone back to Phoenix, sent me just personally back to Phoenix. I saw every doctor, full-on appointments, and still there was just nothing coming back. And that was in September of last year, and there was just nothing. And so finally, we saw a couple doctors here and there. No one wants to hold my case. Someone who has 3 brain surgeries. All the neurologists here are like, we've got to go there or there. It was crazy. Finally saw this one doctor who is a private practice and took me on because he really thought that we thought we were going to go to a pain clinic, care unit, big one, to take on the case. And when we went there, they didn't want to take it on at all until I saw, another appointment for rheumatoid arthritis. They just got kind of wacky, like, I don't even know what possibly this person, they just wigged out, especially when they heard third brain surgery. And then when they hear Mayo Clinic, it's like, oh gosh, we can't touch anything that they touched. Mayo Clinic, they're really good. So it's just, it was this flipping situation. So we saw this one person who's just a private practice. First time I went in there, he said, well, I'll handle you until you get this place to take you in. And we're like, anything to just basically handle the pain a little bit so I can get up the stairs and not have you carry or cry or sleep downstairs. And so finally, we see this person. First appointment, he gives me this really strange name medication. First appointment, and first couple weeks, I'm like, number one, it's kind of sickening, but I'm like, okay. Next appointment, it started, we increased it by, the dose, and began actually helping to the point where I had enough in me to go visit people in Phoenix, where before I wouldn't even get off the couch, and I knew I would come back and deal with pain, but I knew it wasn't going to be a big deal. And that's what happened. I had a friend visit me here, 2 friends here in my home, and I have to recoup from that. And that was in December. And then following, I flew out to Phoenix, and when I came back, I had to recoup, and it was about a week. And same thing happened when I had another friend come in, and I recouped for about 5 days. I was down for this medicine. Just all of a sudden, between that and my focus back on God, back on Jesus, and where He had His plans for me, I wasn't all dreary. I wasn't all, oh God, you know what? I'm taking it away from you. You're not doing anything for me. I knew He had a total plan. So I was giving everything, of course, back to Jesus, and I just knew that He had he just had reasons behind everything. And so doing that, and those few, out-of-state visits and then in-state visits, I had those moments where, of course, I recouped. Then I took one more out-of-state visit because I kept going and I kept going and I kept going. And it was in Minnesota. I was visiting Libby. And we were just nonstop friends. And, we knew how to take it at our own speed, but we were nonstop. And every day we were doing fun stuff. And when I came back, I never had one day I had to recoup or, lay down for hours in pain. It stayed away. And I was even there one day extra, so I didn't have that. I have to take this other patch too. And I didn't have to, have that. So I don't have to take the full dose of the medications. This medicine that I take is just miraculous, but that's always in conjunction with the fact that, Jesus is just like working an absolute miracle. So I just want anyone out there to know that they have to get everything in line before they go fixing or taking on big, big jobs in their life. They really have to get their life in line with Christ and what He has planned, because mine was just out of control, and so I took everything back, and I'm like, God, I don't know what You have planned, so I'm taking this, and I'm sitting back for a little bit, and I didn't do Twitter, I didn't do hardly any Facebook, and I just laid back, and I just basically waited silently for a while, and then I started doing some Facebook, and then I started talking some more, and then I started actually, talking, doing Bible work and just praying, and then I just began to see His reasonings a little bit more and more and more, and having people come to me, and it was just amazing the different situations. It was just there were so many just amazings, and when He had all those trips come up and gave me the choice of either going or not going, and I actually, had it in me to go, and because of that, it just showed wonders of what plans He had. He had His friends show up here, because of the snow being all plowed here, and He was showing me I had it in me to have a friend stay here and be that Heather who loves to have friends over and take them out and go shopping. Now maybe I had to do it at my speed, but over time my speed was beginning to enhance. So it was just so neat. I mean, being blessed with having a friend show up because they couldn't go anywhere because of our snow here in Philly, and just He was showing me that there was more in me able to do all that than what I ever thought. And I'm just sitting here, I'm just so grateful, I'm so thankful. It's just we have to keep our eyes and our ears open to what He has planned for us. And so with all that, I was able to see so many different friends, from Katie to my family, from, my friend Dawn, back in Phoenix here, all the way from all these people, my brothers and girlfriends, to my wonderful, amazing dear friend that everyone probably knows is Libby, and you guys, see us either doing Twitter or Facebook all over the place, and me and Libby were probably about the same age somehow, and little Miss Heather, who was just all dreary and just in so much pain, we went up to Minnesota for a week, and I was just on fire. I just had so much fun. And she's like, it's like we even out. We're both like 30 years old together. And it was just, we had a ball. And I'm sitting here just amazed. and I'm just thanking Jesus, and I just want all of you to know that whatever you have going on, it seems like it's never going to end. It took a year for it to end, at least begin to end. And it's still, it's still here and there. So just know that it's always something that's probably going to somewhat be there, but I also know that Christ is also always going to be there, and so it's something that He's always going to watch and take care of. He's always got His hands all over me and taking care of me, and everything is for His glory. And that's where, I can't ever get enough of First Peter. It always takes me back to First Peter 4:19. I had someone react just big to it, and it's always been amazing. 4:19. First Peter 4:19. So if you are suffering according to God's will, keep on doing what is right, and trust yourself to the God who made you, for He will never fail you. And that's just when we take our bitterness and we put our eyes back on Him and know that He has a plan, no matter how painful it is. We've got a plan through it all. And it still takes me back down to 1 Peter 5:6-7, and it just continues, and it's just amazing. So humble yourselves under the mighty power of God, and in His good time, not ours, in His good time, He will honor you. Give all your worries and all your cares to God, for He cares about what happens to you, to us. And that part, I can't stop continuing to go through every time I have some sort of just horrifying medical problem. It's always a medical problem with me going on. And with all this, after this third brain surgery, I've been very seizure-free. But with the pain medications, even though they're miraculous for pain, when increased, it causes me to have crazy seizures. And I've actually had a couple friends see that, and they know who they are. So it's just, it hasn't been fun in that aspect. But I also know that those will go away, and that He has a totally different plan, and it's not in that. So just know that He has plans for you too, and you all are just blessings so much through Him. And I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for being a big part of my life, and through Him you just all just shine so bright. So many blessings to you, and once again I thank Jesus for all of you. Many blessings, and God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.